Vgates. My name is Third, and did you know that all of the woke mind virus takes I've ever made during all of my YouTube career, especially the ones I made in my most popular video, the LGBTQ community isn't accepting anymore, was actually just me pandering? I didn't believe in any of those things I said at all. Haha, I got you guys so good, right? Right guys, right? Oh, why did I do it? Considering I'm a minor on YouTube and I can't make money off of it without jumping through a lot of loopholes that I frankly am too lazy to jump through. Well, nobody's brought that point up before. You're so smart. Just kidding, I'm pandering again. All of my intros are satire in order to highlight how annoying / weird / bad the thing I'm talking about is. Obviously, I am woke, so much so in fact that I take 10 milligrams of melatonin every night just so that I can fall into the deep comfort of slumber. Cause I'm awake. Are you understanding? Pandering is not a new term in the slightest. Its first recording was in the 1600s and probably doesn't have the same definition or uses as today. I don't know because I'm not 425 years old. Nowadays, pandering means catering to or profiting from the weaknesses, vices, or unreasonable desires of others. AKA, telling people what they want to hear so that you can make money off of telling people what they want to hear, or trying to be relatable to an audience that you don't relate to for money. Obviously. The most blatant usage of pandering is generally in branding and advertisement. Call back to my video about Duolingo. Said company does this often by participating in memes via their social media team. All of this being to appeal to a younger audience. Plenty of other companies do this too. Wendy's did it by tweeting at other fast food joints and throwing shade. Mr. Beast, as a company, not as a guy, does it by participating in memes, despite the fact that it's pretty widely agreed that they kill every meme that they put themselves in. The Mr. Beast company tries to be publicly in with the kids, and yet DM people on Twitter to have a chat when they make a joke about Mr. Beast not having a soul. Billionaires like Elon Musk also do it to try and make them seem like we're laughing with them instead of at them, and they do this by being, derp, XD. All of it is to make themselves seem more relatable with their audience. They know most of Gen Z is working now and we have our own spending money, so they're trying to relate with us, despite the fact that they, as companies or as billionaires, are not Gen Z. Duolingo is in fact a company. Wendy's is a company. Mr. Beast Inc. is a company. Elon Musk is a billionaire. It's all advertisement. It's all pandering to get to your money, and I doubt that that's new knowledge to anybody watching this. There's a song by Bo Burnham that's literally called Pandering. It's sometimes called Country Song, a song where he mocks the stadium country music artists that sing about the things that they themselves have not experienced. And I think a quote from the start of the song sums up my point pretty well. Where instead of people actually telling their stories, you've just got a bunch of millionaire metrosexuals that have never done a hard day's work in their lives, but they figured out the words and the phrases they can use to pander to their audience, and they list the same words and phrases off sort of Mad Lib style in every song, raking in millions of dollars from actual working class people. And then another strength of lyricism in the middle of the song. I write songs for the people who do jobs in the towns that I'd never moved to. I'm not gonna go on a whole rant about country music. I like country music, but Morgan Wallen isn't really a great example because he did grow up in a lower income home in Sneedville, Tennessee. Crazy name. Dr. Seuss, like actually. He also said racial slurs though, and I believe is probably homophobic. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand sometimes, and walked off the set of SNL after hosting it, only to post a picture of him on a plane, or maybe a picture of a plane, I don't remember, with the caption, "Get me to God's country." Buddy spent what I can only assume was like maybe a week or two in New York City, and it was too much wokeness for him. Also, get me to God's country? Buddy, hey man, you're in New York is in God's country. New York is actually so much so God's country that your ancestors probably went here through New York or New York City. He lives in Tennessee. Tennessee wasn't even one of the original 13 colonies. Goodbye, Paris. Hello, France. Goodbye, New York. Hello, America. Shut up, man. Morgan Wallen has a new album, and I guess it's old now because it took me 3 months to film this, and I saw the title of it on some display cabinet at some store, and when I saw it, I burst out laughing. I did, because do you want to know what the title is? I'm the problem. Holy shit. He is so right. Self-aware king. Yes, I've actually never met a man so self-aware. Now, are you gonna make a change? I believe that you can make it different. You can make it right. You can make it better. We don't have to fight. Oh, the second song of the track list is called I Got Better, and the 36th song is called Lies, Lies, Lies. I did not mean to go on a rant there. Blame it on me. Another example of pandering is, and you knew I was gonna mention this, performative men. But what is a performative man? My non-very online viewers may be asking. Well, at its literal definition, it is a man that performs, and at its internet definition, it's a man that does things that women typically do or like doing. Dressing well, reading, drinking matcha, listening to Leve, pronouncing Leve's name right, labubu, in order to appeal to women and get their attention. Oftentimes, this pandering is at the cost of a man's own time, interests, and money, sometimes changing themselves entirely in order to fit this mold of written by a woman. However, this changing of oneself often leads to someone to beg the question of, if they'll go as far as changing themselves entirely to get a woman, how far will they go to keep that woman? Which is essentially why performative men and male manipulators will a lot of times fall into the same sentence. But there is one other thing. This topic, performative men, is one of the reasons that this video has taken me over 3 months to make, on top of school and my real life job and Minesweeper. I love Minesweeper! Because it is really, honestly difficult to talk about performative men without seeming like someone that believes in traditional gender roles and that believes that men liking things or doing things that are typically considered feminine is bad. Not to mention the fact that dressing this way and acting this way and wearing 2 laboobas at once and using a tote bag are all trends in their own respects. So at what point does baka matcha laboobu go from attracting a mate like a bird to becoming a trend among humans? Where do we draw that line? Performative men are also stereotyped to be very dramatic about periods and feminism, and although that can get annoying when they aren't being legitimate and we want people to say what they mean and mean what they say, is it so bad for, stay with me now, pro-feminist or pro-woman or whatever rhetoric to be spread, especially in America's current friggin' political climate? I don't think so. I don't think it's that bad. Believe it or not, I actually prefer that to Joe Rogan and Mr. Andrew. No movies! I'm locked in, I'm in the trenches, I'm getting rich. Stand by me and enjoy the fruits of my labor, Tate. Out of all kinds of grifting, or pandering, or what have you, yeah, I actually kind of do prefer the kind where women are not reduced to an extra feature of a man whose only purpose is to serve that man. Yeah, I actually do prefer the grifting where, all of America is just a teeny, tiny, little bit aware of what periods actually are, rather than certain people think it's just a time where we are overly dramatic about our pain and where we pee blood. And as I was thinking about this, and thinking about how I wanted to talk about performative men in a way that doesn't seem like internal misogyny, I guess realized that nobody else held that same energy for the original performative men, probably because they weren't men at all. They were women. They were girls. They were pick-me girls. A pick-me girl is someone that performs for men just as performative men do for women. Pick-me and performative are one and the same. They are interchangeable. Both labels and stereotypes negatively affect women and men, where men are teased for liking matcha and women are teased for liking sports. They're interchangeable. And that's kind of why it frustrates me that performative men are called performative men as opposed to pick-me boys to understand. Here's my thought process. Performative is this big and complicated and long word. It's fancy. I mean, it's adult, versus pick-me, which is grammatically incorrect and not a legitimate adjective. Men is adult and mature and grown up, and girls in pick-me girls is, like, demeaning. It's childish. It is girls. It is young women. It is girls. You know what I mean? Are you picking what I'm putting down? Are you seeing why this is frustrating? Do you understand? And maybe I'm looking too deep into this, but I'd rather look too deep than too shallow. That being said, I'm not a very strong swimmer, so thank God for the fact that performative boys started making fun of themselves, so that I can start looking shallower and not, drown, on account of me not being able to swim that well. One content creator that pandas more than a pander in the South is named Russell Hartley, and based on what I see in his comments, people don't know he's pandering. At least they didn't until Curtis Connor made a video about him. I had the idea first, let me just say that. I'm not copying Curtis Connor. I had a Russell Hartley video idea in my vault since June when my friend messaged me to make a video about him. Here's proof. Curtis stole from me. He hacked into the Discord server I store my YouTube stuff in and stole the idea. I have no proof, but I know in my heart, Lee. Russell Hartley is a creator on TikTok that gives dating advice to women. Things like the fact that it's okay to want a rich guy and that men actually should be the providers and yada yada yada. Those ideas are fine. I guess they aren't inherently bad outside of the fact that it's trad wife phrased a little bit differently to make the men seem bad if they aren't providers versus the usual perspective of women being bad when they don't do all the cooking and cleaning. But one quick look into his past and you'll see that he used to not pander to women. In fact, he used to make right-wing content where he would explicitly hate on women. Eventually he realized that saying what women wanted to hear got him more views and likes and fame and money, so he started to hate men instead. This kind of thing falls into the category of grifting. I've seen grifting defined as a lot of things online, but overall it seems like it's someone that doesn't fall into a particular category opinions-wise, but pretends to be on the far side of the opinion that serves them the best. A lot of people do this with pineapple and pizza because I assure you 90% of the people that say they absolutely hate and despise pineapple pizza have never had a pineapple pizza in their life. I would know, I've met so many of them. They haven't tried pineapple pizza, so in their hearts, they cannot have a strong opinion on pineapple pizza. They just say that they hate pineapple pizza because it's the most agreeable opinion, if that makes sense. However, what Russell is doing is far more sinister than something as simple as food preferences. Not only is he straight up lying in order to get the approval of women and more than likely money, but he's literally reusing the same exact takes he had when he was hating women all those years ago. But it wasn't even that long ago. It was years ago, but it wasn't 30 billion. It was like 2. It was like 2 years ago. 2 years. 2. For instance, back when he hated women, he told men to think of the women they were seeing as horses and to always keep the stable full.
I mentioned having a stable. So what this means if you're a bachelor is that every time you have sex with a new woman, that's a new mare in your stable. And you want to keep doing this. You're going to have mares coming in and out of your stable. And the reason why they go out is because eventually you get to that conversation where it's like, so where's this going?
Now that he's being a man hater, he's still sharing the same idea, sort of.
If that man's telling you that he's not ready for a relationship, you should just go to your other boyfriend's house. Say, okay, I'll see you later, and then just drive on over to your other boyfriend's house. Y'all aren't in a relationship. Tell your other boyfriend about it. Yeah, he just told me he wasn't ready for a relationship. Can you believe him? He would say that to me? What the fuck? That's it. That's all you gotta do.
He isn't calling these men horses. God, no. He would never stoop as low as to dehumanizing a man. Women, though. He is still telling women to keep a roster, and there isn't anything wrong with keeping a roster, obviously, but he is reusing the same exact takes, just flipped. Or maybe he isn't grifting. I don't know, maybe these are his true takes. I just find it hard to believe that a person can go from one far side of a spectrum to the other far side of that spectrum in only a few years past the point of their frontal lobe being developed, especially since he still believes in traditional gender roles, given the way he talks about how men have to be the providers, but this time he isn't mentioning the parts that women don't want to hear. Also, let's not forget, even if these were his true takes, these are not new takes. Plenty of women have said these online for years, but when a guy does it, it's celebrated more. Pretty interesting. Here at the Thirdishy channel, we don't discriminate. We firmly believe that women can be annoying too. One great example is that opinionated girl 3. Don't let her username fool you. She does not represent all numbers. I am the better 3, and she makes me sad every time I see her, simply because I cannot imagine how much hate someone has to have in their heart to not only love Trump, but also be a Zionist who has met Netanyahu. Okay, girl. Her takes are also just really bad. In one particular video, she's talking about how New York City is horrible and how there's homeless people everywhere, and then captioned the video with, Mamdani is dangerous. You know, the guy that isn't the mayor of New York City. Actually, I agree, he is dangerous. Dangerously charming. A dangerously cool guy that's never said honk honk shh. A dangerously cool guy whose name isn't a few scrambles away from aw, come drown. In a later video, she actually spoke about how she's disappointed in Trump. Not because of the Epstein stuff or anything like that, or anything the guy has done in general, but because he allowed the creation of the FDA-approved abortion pill.
Anyone that knows me knows that I'm an avid Trump supporter, but I have to be completely honest with you. I am extremely disappointed in the Trump administration FDA today and their assistance in making it more accessible to take the life of your unborn child.
Hey chat, hey guys. So why is it that every time a far-right person does not like Trump, it's because he isn't radical enough for them? It's just a little odd pattern to me. I don't know. This girl loves this Yahoo, and yet he believes that all abortion should be banned because life begins at conception and that abortion is the biggest killer of kids.
We know that biologically, a human being comes into existence from the moment of conception.
Guess what? This Yahoo that you love so much is killing quite a few kids. Quite a few existing kids with personalities and relationships and families. She then goes on to talk about how the abortion pill works by starving the fetus of nutrients.
For those of you who don't know what the abortion pill does to an unborn child, it starves them of nutrients and then forces the mother to expel them from her body through painful cramping.
Which is a really big coincidence, you know, because, you know who else is starving kids of nutrients? This Yahoo! She is so confidently incorrect and hateful and hypocritical. The only reason that she has any platform is because she grifts. That's it. She takes a radical stance and cements herself to that stance, and other radical people love her for that because nobody else is insane enough to do that. Obviously, like always, the only way to stop her from posting 30 videos every day is to stop interacting with her content fully, so that she hopefully makes less money off the platform and has to get a real job that keeps her busy enough to not record and release 30 videos a day. Okay, that was a lot. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, then consider subscribing and liking and stuff. And if you haven't already, go watch Curtis's video about Russell Hartley, because he does a much deeper dive into Russell than I did. Also, sorry for dying for 3 months. I was busy with my job, and my school, and my wife, and Minesweeper! I love Minesweeper! Alright, you are all great. My name is Third. Guten, bye. We're playing Minesweeper on Google.com. I do use Microsoft Edge, unfortunately, because of the edge points. Hello? Because I think it's funny to say that I have, what is it, like 1,700 edge points? It's too many. I'm probably gonna lose and then embarrass myself, because I do play this a lot, but I'm not, like, good at it. So, I do my best. It's just gonna be a lot of silence. I don't really have any commentary for Minesweeper, because it's Minesweeper. It's not really that, it's not a very exciting game. But I need, like, a little end scene, or whatever, so that I can put my little links that say, like, watch this video too, or whatever. Freak up, bro.